And now, more Utalk. Now.
Okay, we are going to bring our special guest on in just a minute. She is a motivational speaker. She's an author. She's an actress and a teen influencer. So she is going to unpack all of that and maybe some more for us on the show today. I mean, I'm fascinated, and I'll share with you how I connected with her, how we connected with her here at Utalk. But this is going to be a super cool show. So we are going to welcome Arianna Fox. There she is. Arianna, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
This is very cool. Okay, tell us where you live.
In Delaware.
Oh. So,
but you mentioned California. My daddy's actually from California, so we're all over.
That's cool. This is very cool to have you. I mean, you're everywhere. I mean, you were just everywhere. I mean, motivational speaker, award winner, author. Is there anything you don't do?
Juggle and whistle. That's just crazy.
All right, tell me, what did you first start doing? I mean, because you didn't do all of this at once.
Right. That's actually a good question. I've been asked that often, but you know, probably the first thing that I started was writing, and actually writing and acting right around the same time.
Okay.
I started writing when I was really, really young. I loved writing books and coming up with things in my imagination. And I told my parents when I was super young that I had always wanted to be an author, a published author. And it's interesting though, because, you know, in reply to that, you know, in the, I want to be an author, yay! You know, my parents were like, wait a minute though.
Right.
Why wait? Why not start now? And why not, you know, why when you grow up? And so that really, really, I was like, oh, you're
awesome.
Right.
So how old was this?
I'm going to say this was about 4, and I'm going to say around the same time or more or less when I started acting. But I would do is just, instead of like being crazy and well thought out, I really would just run around the room, like the living room, as different characters. And that was what acting started as. Come a long way.
I love it. So you entertained your family, right?
Oh yeah, they created all these videos on YouTube that we still have up there, and I can't even understand what I'm saying. I'm like, and I'm just like, what? I can't even understand my past self, honestly. I'm like, I talk way too fast.
So you haven't talked them into taking them down off YouTube. You're leaving them up there for now, huh?
No. My parents were the ones who put them up there. I mean, they love it.
That's cool. That's right.
Yeah,
so you started writing. I mean, what kinds of things were you writing? You obviously have a very creative imagination.
Thank you. Well, one of the first things I was writing a lot of was fan fiction, even though I didn't even know that was fan fiction at the time. It was fan fiction of a great, awesome Disney series called Pixie Hollow, and I wrote a lot of stories off of that.
Nice.
But my first book, which is what I wrote around the age 6, and actually finished, and I published it like around age 12. Now, the reason why it took so long was because of the illustrations. It's a children's book, but it's called The Princess Chronicles, and it's about these princesses who are learning kindness, friendship, forgiveness,
nice.
All those important qualities. And yeah, like it took so long to get the illustrations because one person would draw and then they would drop it. And then another person would draw and then drop it. And you know, you can't have like 2 or more illustrators who do different styles. It doesn't work. So we finally got an intern for a business who did that.
Oh, I was going to ask you if you had writer's block, if that's why it took 6 years, but apparently not. It was
not at all.
That's frustrating. But you know what's cool is it's published.
Exactly.
And it's for children. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, you start at 6. It would have been, you know, I mean, it's cool to have a book. Anyway, most people don't, you know, I happen to be an author as well, so we're in good company. You know, and I love to write. I haven't done any fiction yet. I've got an idea for a couple fiction books, but I absolutely love writing. It's a release in a sense. Yes. It gives me I'm frustrated because I haven't been writing as of the last year, but to me, there's like creative energy that happens. And it's so cool when you see that you have that book in your hands. Yeah, and you can look at it and say, you know, this, I got, and for me, what's been awesome is to hear somebody say, your book really helped me, and
Yes.
to me that it's like, if I only wrote the book for that person, it's worth it.
Yes.
So I'm really impressed that at such a young age you started writing. Now you have another book out as well, do you not?
I do indeed. It is my second book that I published with Third Coast Books. It's called False Awakening, and it is a sci-fi novel for all ages about a man who's in a dream within a dream within a dream, and he joins a rebellion and fights against an evil tyrant to save the dream world and the real. So it's kind of like Inception meets the Matrix and all that stuff.
Sweet.
It is super awesome because we actually originally self-published it, and then we republished it with Third Coast Books, and now we are super excited, but it is in contract to become a movie. And,
no way.
Yes, and it's amazing. We're in contract with Keith Barrows of Third Coast Books, and it's amazing. When we first started, when I first started doing a lot of writing, I thought, my parents and I would sometimes joke with each other. We would be like, what would be so cool? What? If you had a movie based off your book, and we could just be like, hey, what do you want to watch tonight? How about False Awakening? That kind of thing. and
That's
so
cool.
It was just kind of like a pie in the sky dream, a goal.
Oh, yeah.
Then when we were able to get this done, it's amazing. So we got the screenplay done, and now, right now, we are just waiting and hoping and believing for the first day of production. That is what we're like totally hoping will come so soon, sooner rather than later. We're hoping, and really as soon as possible. We've had many other people, tons of people talk about how excited they are for the movie.
That's awesome.
As well as us and stuff, and they can't wait for the movie to come out, and we've been trying to spread the word, promote it. And by the way, to all of you watching, I invite you, if you can, I invite you to help like and share as well, because we're so jazzed for this. We've been gearing up for this for a really long time.
All right, hey, tell us, we're on social. Can everybody jump on and start sharing and talking about it?
Anywhere. I've made social media posts all over the place. I will continue to market and advertise False Awakening. And then one of the biggest things is whatever you want to post with the hashtag False Awakening the movie.
False Awakening the movie. All right.
We're really excited about that. Also, I just wanted to give a quick shout out as well, an awesome shout out to the screenplay writer of the movie for False Awakening. He was actually able to squeeze me in as an actress, because I'm an actress as well, as a role, as a pretty pivotal character in the movie. So that was really superb, and we were really stoked about that.
Well, you stole my next question, because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, are you going to be in the movie? And
Yes.
what part am I going to play? And no, that's cool. Very cool. So you do have a pivotal role. So it's been cast already. So you guys are pretty far in the process then.
Yeah, absolutely. We are just, like I said, we're just really, hoping and really excited for this first day of production, 100%. But yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like a dream come true, to read, especially the screenplay, because I was able to, when I first read, because he finished it, and when I was able to read my book in the Courier New font and the indentations and all that stuff in a screenplay, script format, I was just like, oh my word,
Oh, that is so
surreal.
Cool.
Am I dreaming?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, and what a concept. You're going to have to keep us informed what happens and when it gets released and all of that kind of good stuff, because that is very fascinating. I mean, I'm intrigued by the sci-fi, by the Inception meets Matrix,
right.
And what a great word picture, putting those two together,
Thank you.
I mean, that's very cool. How exciting. So you guys have no idea when you're actually going to be able to start. And is COVID hanging this up in part?
So we do know, we have kind of a ballpark. It's going to be basically at least next year is sometime next year. It's basically anytime before next year. It's what we're hoping, but we're hoping to get this as soon and quickly as possible.
Oh yeah,
because it's going to change our lives, epically.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, it definitely will. Any other family member going to be in the film?
Not sure as for right now. Hopefully that would be cool, but as for right now, not really sure.
Let me ask you this: what was your motivation for wanting to do what you do. Okay, you're an actress. The author seems to be a huge part of who you are, which is great because it's a very expressive tool. And you're a speaker. You're a motivational speaker. What kinds of topics do you speak on, and who do you speak to?
That's a great question. As for my target audience, who I speak to people of all ages, anybody from adults. I've spoken to professionals, and business people.
Wow.
Absolutely. To teens out of high school, mid-teens and late teens. I've spoken to little kids at a daycare. I've literally spoken to all kinds of different people. And that's kind of also the basis of the other question, which is what I speak about. I really vary it, and it depends upon the audience. So for example, if I'm speaking to little kids at a daycare, then I'm going to be doing a lot more activities, more hands-on interactive things, and getting them up and ready and excited and come on, boys and girls, that kind of thing. Definitely more interactive things. Whereas, for teens, I literally had this one activity where it's like, pull out your phones and take a selfie. It was like literally, so many different activities and things. But as for topics, things I speak about.
Yeah.
A lot of the main topics that I speak about, like, to any audience, is how to overcome obstacles, how to get past, failing and, I made a mistake and all that stuff, how to overcome negative peer pressure and influence, because so many people are being influenced by others, especially teens and young adults and tweens. And so that's one of the biggest things as well, is making sure that you know who to stick around, positive people or negative people, and how to identify who's positive and who's negative. And then, all kinds of things. One of the biggest things I like to say, it's funny, the phrase, never give up, don't give up. It's a wonderful phrase, and it's so true, but it's often so cliched.
Yes.
But it really is true, because
it's true.
Exactly. And one of the things that I love to tell people is that you only fail when you give up. And that mistakes are, so mistakes are just a part of the journey. You just dust off, get right back up, and go into whatever it is that's your passion. So
I have to laugh with that never give up, because yesterday a very close friend of mine, he was my mentor, one of them, would have been 105 years old.
Wow.
Now, we lost him 3 years ago, so his residence has moved from here to heaven. But one of the things, you'll love this, Arianna, that he always used to do with me is, if I was discouraged or having lunch, or I'm struggling with something, I'm trying to get something happening, getting it moving, and in his best Winston Churchill impersonation, he would go, never, never, never give up. I mean, it was hilarious. And then sometimes he put his little bony finger into my chest, and he'd go, because we had another friend, another one of my mentors, who always told me it's always too soon to quit. And he'd say, what did Ted tell you? What did Ted tell you? Of course, my response is, I have no recollection of what Ted told me. There is no recollection for this. But that's such a great concept. And it's so true, because failure is when you don't get up.
Exactly.
It's in fact, our audio engineer, John, said, I've never seen anybody like you, Steve. He said, you get knocked down and you keep getting back up again. And he said, you keep pushing forward. I go, John, sometimes I think I'm just too dumb to not stay down. But, it's
stubborn, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But I love that concept. That is, and especially for you at a younger age, to be able to grasp that, and with your energy and being able to share that with others. So you do school assemblies in essence then, or do you go into a classroom? How does that work for you?
Yeah, so basically people book me. You can anybody can reach out to me. And by the way, I am 100% open for all speaking events and opportunities.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so,
now let me interrupt you for a sec. How do they reach out to you? We haven't told them that yet. Give us a website.
I thought that was left for the end, but that's perfect.
No, we'll do it at the end too, but do it now.
Perfect. So to reach out to me and to find me, you can find me on all social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as @AFoxAuthor, and then also LinkedIn and YouTube as Arianna Fox. That's ARIANNA, two N's, FOX, Fox. And also you can, to book me for any speaking events or inquiries, you can email me at afox@ariannafox.com, and then also, which is monitored by my parents as well, and then also, if you are looking for my books, which is The Princess Chronicles or False Awakening, or soon to be Saber Black, I'm hoping, very, very soon. So you can find those on Amazon or barnesandnoble.com, or my website to get them personalized and signed, which is ariannafox.com. Spelled
I think you got to go to the website, everybody, because you want it personalized.
Yes!
I'm going to have to start thinking about that with my books. Maybe I should do that, personally sign them. I mean, I do that sometimes, but to me, I don't know about you, but it always seems kind of funny when somebody comes up and goes, "Will you sign your book for me?"
Yeah, I know.
Like, okay, well, sure, here, I'll sign it. That's very cool. So, it's interesting because you're a very passionate person, especially for being as young as you are. What are you passionate about?
Well, a lot of things.
Okay, give us a couple examples, because I sense that as well. I mean, some people have a passion.
Right.
And other people, I think you and I are alike, because I'm passionate about many different things, probably more than I realize. What are a couple things that you're really passionate about?
I would say that's good. I would say, well, one of them is definitely inspiring others. Ever since I was young, like I mentioned, ever since I was young, I had really, I want to be an author, but I had another main passion, and that was to inspire others. And especially at that time, I had no idea how to get that done. No idea whatsoever.
Interesting.
I didn't know many people. I didn't really, like, I knew a lot of people that were business people because my parents have a business, and, I knew a lot of business associates and stuff, but I didn't really understand or know or comprehend how to motivate or energize others. I mean, I had games and stuff, but I'm like, how am I going to do that without sounding cheesy? Like, you got this, okay, how do I actually help people? And so, but yeah, it just came to me, to my parents, actually, one day when I was like around 10 years old. I woke up one morning and my parents were like, "Oh my goodness, what if you become a motivational speaker?" And I was like, yes, yes.
So Mom and Dad gave you that kind of idea then?
Yeah, for that one, it definitely, but it culminated with the passion that I already had to inspire others. I just didn't quite know how to get there. Yeah.
That's so important today. I mean, because look at our world. There's so much division. There's so much uncertainty. There's so much. At Utalk, we have a thing that we want to continue to expand on, and it's called #Goodbye2 and the word mean. People are so mean today, and they're mean on social. They're mean in person, and it's worse now with all the lockdowns and the restrictions and stuff with COVID.
Yes.
But to inspire others is huge. I mean, that really is. That's huge, because so many people, I don't care how old you are, so many people need that. Now, I connected with you through something that your dad posted on social. And it was a short film that you did called Time to Unify.
Yep.
And I was very impressed, obviously. And I said to Katie, one of the other hosts for Utalk, I said, we have to get her on the show. What do you mean we have to get her on the show? So I showed her on YouTube, and she goes, "Yeah, you're right." I said, this right now this is such a huge concept. We are so divided in this country, and families are divided, and friends are divided, and one of our interns said, "I'm so tired of people pointing the finger at others all the time."
Yes.
It's, another good friend of mine said, "Hey, I almost hate to go to sleep because I'm afraid what I'm going to wake up to find out."
Yeah.
And it's not that he's scared. I mean, he's a brilliant guy, one of the most intelligent people I know. And he's involved with us in a lot of tech things, but I get what he's saying. It's you almost hate to. I hate to look at a news feed. Because you don't know what's going to happen. So here you come along, and Time to Unify. And it's not a long film, but I think it's a powerful film. I think it's huge, and I think more people need to see it. So I'm going to give you a plug now, and I want people that are with us on the show now to go check out Time to Unify on YouTube. Yes. Take the time to look at it. But where did the concept come from? And of course, you're starring in it. But it's a fascinating production. Where'd the concept come from? Is that something that you came up with again?
That one was actually not, it wasn't my film. I've come up with tons of other films, but that one was actually the amazingly creative concept of my daddy, who's always coming up with exciting films. He's right now as we speak. I believe that he's working on another one that's more for like action oriented, sci-fi action that I also was able to be a part of. But he's always filming stuff, always coming up with great ideas. And that one was really like an incredible idea, and a lot of the things were my ideas as well. Like I was able to we went around, our different places, in our city, and just kind of like filmed, and I suggested a few locations too, so I was able to help quite a bit. But yeah, that was his idea. He came up with all the different, got all the different people together, to hold out their hands like that, it was really, really great. But yeah, I was able to do the voiceover and the lead acting role. But yeah, it was amazing. And I think that you're exactly right. It's such an important message these days because there's so much division, in our world. So
there really is.
And definitely time to
tease our audience. I mean, because, a lot of people haven't seen it yet, and I really encourage them to do. Tease our audience with that concept. And you talked about putting the hand out, which I love. I mean, that was that's so powerful. But just give us kind of the synopsis of it.
So the video is, as a synopsis, is essentially about inspiring unity, and that is by showing that there is so much hurt and pain and division and arguing and all of that, and it's time to unify and really show your smile and lend your hand. And I'm not going to say too much of it so that
no, just spoiler alert. But
one of the most amazing things is the part at the end where everybody does this and smiles and puts their hand out to the camera, and that's to you, and I think that's a really, really, really great, really amazing idea, because we all just kind of need to lend a helping hand, and we really do. Yeah, and I really, really, really love the video. So yes, check it out, everybody. Check it out.
Yes, no, absolutely, because this isn't rocket science. I mean, it's such a simple thing. Yeah. Lend a helping hand.
Exactly.
That's huge. That would change the world if everybody decided just to do that. I mean, it really would. It's now at Utalk, we are really big about changing the world. Okay, we have this phrase that says, "Are you mad?" Not "Are you crazy?" Are you making a difference?
Love that.
And everybody needs to be making a difference. And we've interviewed people. We've had conversations with people about making a difference. I guess I want to know from you, there's so many things we need to do to make a difference. Let's face that. There's so many issues and all. But from your perspective, from your vantage point, what's one thing that all of us could individually do to make a difference, to change the world?
I love that. Well, aside from what we talked about, which is lending a helping hand and helping others whenever you get the chance, I would say, and I know it's definitely easier said than done, but it's also something that we can do if we just try, if we just try hard and if we do it, then we're able to rock our lives. And what that is really being more positive. I have seen people.
Interesting.
I have seen the majority of teenagers, people that are my age and a little bit older, and the age group, and I'm just thinking to myself, okay. And I'm looking at, these Instagram feeds of teenagers and things, and I'm realizing that so many of them have this strange mentality about life. And that is, life sucks. Life is bad. I have to do this and I have to do that. And what I love to help people with when I do my speaking events is to change the life sucks into life rocks. And so I think that that's so important though, because if we all are more positive, I actually just finished an article about the importance of realistic optimism. That's being optimistic, but also being realistic at the same time.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, and like that quote said, that a really old quote that says, keep your head in the clouds and your feet on the ground. And it's basically based off of that. And I really think that if we just instill a positive mindset, it doesn't mean rainbows and butterflies every single day, but it does mean being more positive about life and, taking what comes, saying, all right, I can do this, I can rock this. And there are so many things we can do, but if we can just be positive, then it'll actually open up the doors to be more positive to others and act even better to other people. So that's how it's changing the world, because we're not just changing our own lives, but we're changing other people's lives. When we change our own mindset, then it changes our action. There's this one quote, I'm all about quotes tonight here, but there's this one quote that I remember seeing that's, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. And watch your habits, they become your character. And watch your character, it becomes your destiny. And I thought,
good stuff. Very good stuff. Yeah, I mean, that is such an epic little quote, really. Let me go back to something though, because I'm sitting and going, yeah, be positive, But how do we do that, Arianna, without being cheesy and phony? And because I know you've run into people, I have too, and it's like, come back, you're in la la land. This is not real. This is, it's like, be real, I want to grab them and just shake them,
and say, hey,
because there's a reality of what real life is like. Exactly. And you can be positive in the midst of a very negative situation. And that's where it comes back to being realistic, and I think we can inspire, as you talked about, by coming alongside somebody and encouraging them and being positive. And I know people who, I call them whiners. They're always whining about something, and it's like there's so many cool things to focus on. When you really get down to it, and I mean, even for me, it's a simple thing I do, and it's not really affecting anybody else, but it affects how I remain positive. I have a house I can come back to. I have food to eat. To me, there's so much more positive things. Being realistic, and I like the fact that you qualified it by saying realistic, positive attitude. And our attitude is huge. Our attitude determines, I'll pick on Katie for a minute, one of the other hosts of Utalk. She's really been struggling with chronic illness. And that's part of the reason she's not on with this. She really wanted to be, because you intrigued her, and wow, this is really cool. But I have to admit, she is one of the most positive attitudes of anybody I know. And I just keep thinking, this poor girl needs a break. She goes to all these doctors and physical therapists and on and on and on. And she, we won't even get into all of it. But it's huge. And if we can, I'm going to jump on your inspiration word. If we can inspire others to see the positive side of life by us being positive, I mean, that's a world changer. That is a world changer. It really is. I mean, that's huge. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that. I love this part of the show because we ask most of our guests this, and everybody comes up with something a little different. And, I ought to write a book about all of these, and these ideas of how to change the world, how to make a difference, because we can make a difference. We can change the world one step at a time. There's that timeless phrase of how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time,
Yeah.
I've heard it put a different way. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first
With
step.
a single step.
Single step, and I heard another story where there was a young boy at the beach and there was all these starfish that had washed up. And he took one.
Yes.
Have you heard that? And he threw it back in the water. And this guy said, "What do you think you're doing? There's a whole bunch of them here. You're not making any difference." He said, "I did to the one starfish."
Exactly.
And,
he said, "You can't save all of them." He's like, "No, but I saved that one starfish."
I saved that one. I saved that one. And that's the whole thing. Don't try to eat the whole enchilada at once. I mean,
exactly.
Take it one step, one bite at a time, and keep on doing it. And as we do that and we inspire others, then they're going to inspire somebody. And then this positive attitude is going to become contagious, we hope. Well, what's next? What you're working on another new book, voiceover. I'm kind of curious about that. You did the voiceover for the film that your dad put together, Time to Unify. What other kinds of things have you done with voiceover?
Oh my word. Voiceover is probably one of the things, other than writing, which like you mentioned, I finished my third book. I actually finished writing it, and now I'm working on editing it. Thank you. But other than writing, I think voiceover, the voiceover industry for me has been one of the most bountiful, really, this year and last year, especially
really?
2020 with the COVID-19, because you could do all of it from home. You've got your voiceover recording, equipment, your Rode microphone, your computer, and Adobe Audition. That's all you really need, And so it's been amazing. I've been doing tons of voiceover work from like commercials, like a little girl voice in a commercial, to doing for businesses and such, to even I'm so excited about this. I actually just completed a really epic audio series. Actually, no, it's an audio book that is written by J. Andrew Ashby. It's called The Cloosers, the Lost Town. Yeah, Cloosers, the Lost Town. It's a Christmas mystery, and it was published and released last December for Christmas. And I was able to read as a narrator the entire book as the main character, which has been super amazing. It's a detective thing, and I'm like, oh, I love detective stuff. So that was great. 100%. I loved doing that.
How fun. That is very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also working on something which hopefully will be released sometime soon. I don't quite know the date yet, but I am was able to provide some voiceover grunts and growls and things and such for a video game character, actually. It's
that
so
is
awesome.
Super cool. That, you know what? Okay, now there's an ulterior motive as why I ask you about this, because I have lost track of how many people have said, dude, you've got a voice to do voiceover work. Why aren't you doing it? So I'm getting everything set up now, man. I got my mic. I've ordered a new laptop, because I've been doing broadcasting, in different forms and all, but I'm anxious to do it. And you're encouraging me that much more, because it seems like it'd be a super fun thing to do, be these different characters and I would love to do a video game. Those of you out there listening that maybe you're producing one, I know. But seriously, I think it's way cool what you're doing, and what a fun thing to do. You know what? We're out of time. I can't believe it. We're going to have to do this again. We'll have to talk some more as you work on some other things, and you need to keep us informed. Once again, please tell everybody, how can they stay in touch? How can they get your books? How can they find out what's going on with you? Give us your social and give us your website again, please.
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you so much for interviewing me. This has been absolutely amazing. So you can find me on all social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as @AFoxAuthor, LinkedIn and YouTube as Arianna Fox. To find my books, False Awakening and The Princess Chronicles, you can find them on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. You can also find them for a personalized signed copy on AriannaFox.com.
I love it.
And thank you. And for any booking or speaking inquiries, to book me for a speaking event, etc., you can email me, which is also, of course, monitored by my parents, at afox@ariannafox.com.
Thank you for being with us. This has been so much fun. It really has. I appreciate you taking the time, and glad I got to see your dad's video. and to see you do that. And, you're like the epitome of the Energizer Bunny. I mean, it's like, except you're the Energizer Bunny on steroids. I mean, but Arianna, thank you very much. Keep in touch with us. Let us know what you're doing. We'll have another convo with you sometime. And hopefully we'll run into each other, or we'll work on a project together, all of us. And we're really excited about meeting you and having you on Utalk. And we'll look forward to another time in the future.
Thank you so much. I'm so
Thanks
excited.
for being with us. Talk to you later.
Bye.
This is Utalk Radio.